Good evening, folks. This is the dialogue with Agba Jalingo, coming to you live from the beautiful city of Calabar on the frequency module of the premier private radio broadcasting outfit in Cross River State, Hit 95.9 FM. Today, which is the 22nd episode of the program, where we strive to ensure the Cross River conversation bears positive fruits, we'll be discussing the local government system in the state. Governance, it is said, is best administered at the grassroots. And in a democratic setting like Nigeria, the closest tier of government to the people is the local government system. Like every other tier, leaders are elected into offices in a tenured arrangement and charged with the responsibility of the welfare, security, growth, and development of the social economy, as well as several other roles enshrined in the Constitution. Cross River State is not left out of these, as the current crop of local government chairmen elected in 2013 will constitutionally see their tenure end on December 15, with nothing yet to be heard from the constituted authorities concerning their successors. The state government failed to constitute the electoral body in time, and timelines as stated in the constitution were not met, with elections not holding. Therefore, successors to the current chairman were not produced. Why this happened? The relevant authorities are yet to explain, and the silence from opposition parties in the state concerning the issue has left many wondering if the local government administrations are not worth campaigning for. Also, what are the legal implications to this, and what becomes of the local government administrations after December 15? This is the focus of the dialogue with Agba Jalingo this evening, with the topic the local government election. What does the failure to hold it means for perseverance? To discuss this with me this evening is the special advisor to Governor Ben Ayade of Cross River on inter-party affairs, Mr. Austin Ibok. Mr. Austin, you're welcome to the program.
Yeah, good evening, Prashvara.
Yeah, and also we have here the public secretary of the All Progressive Congress (APC) in Cross River State, Mr. Mens Ikpeme. Mr. Mens, you're welcome to the program.
Good day, fellow Crossbarians.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Mens. Don't forget, you can call 0705 153 6836 for advert and sponsorship. Before I go to the main business of the day, I'll take you through headlines of online news portals reporting activities relating to and about Cross River State, as well as other news with a Cross River perspective. And I must state categorically clear that these news portals are members of the Association of Cross River Online Journalists. We'll first start with CalabarBlog.com, and the lead story there this evening is Calabar Festival 2016. Governor Ayade inaugurates Christmas Village. Avoid premarital sex. I married my wife a virgin, says Governor Ayade. Moving on, we also have pictures. See how World AIDS Day 2016 was commemorated in Calabar. It was at that same event where the governor said he married his wife a virgin. New music, Be My Lover by Fuad. We move on to Calitown.com, and the list story there says, Tell Ayade, paying us December salary this early will make us suffer, says civil servant. Donald Duke Ndomegba, Grace Orok Duke's book launch. Yes, Orok Duke, the chairman of the Sports Commission, launched 5 books in Abuja on December 1. We also have 1.9 million adults become infected with HIV every year, says Linda Ayade, the wife of the governor. Moving on to Chronicle, which is the state-owned newspaper corporation, we have Calabar plays host to Armed Forces College Study Group. World Bank commends Cross River government. Also, we have federal government gets charged on boundary conflict. UNICEF holds sanitation orientation for CLTS leaders. We also have very important, which is relevant to what we are discussing this evening, Cross River to conduct local government elections in 2017, says the chairman of the state's electoral commission, Mike Shea. And on CrossRiverWatch.com, the list stories there says child abuse, court remands lady in Calabar prison. Cross River government acquires solid minerals mining licenses to prosecute illegal miners. Team Cross River State to represent South-South at Nigerian Medical Association National Games. Ayade pays December salary in advance. We also have 16 vandals jailed for life in Calabar. We have Cross River State government bans use of outdoor advertisement boards that are made outside the state. And a rather interesting one here, accused of collecting 186 million naira Diezeni election bribe. Cross River resident electoral commissioner is rewarded with chieftaincy title. Well, that's wow, a controversial one there. While she is in court for the Diezeni Gates scandal, community people deemed it fit to award her with a chieftaincy title. Well, that's it for on the headlines this evening. We'll take a short break now. Make sure you stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Short break is
Relax,
Short break is
relax. Listen. Alright, welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is a dialogue with Agba Jalingo on Hit 95.9 FM. We move straight to the business of the day. I'll start with you, Mr. Ibok. As a special advisor in inter-party affairs, have you been able to liaise with other political parties concerning the failure of the state to hold the local government elections this year?
okay. Good evening, Cross Riverian. My name is still Austin Ibo, Special Advisor Inter-Party Affairs. I want to start by saying that several meetings have been held personally in my office with all political parties, um, we, which we've informed them officially to also tell them a position from all the indications that local government election may not be held. And secondly, also there was, I think, early last month, if I'm not mistaken, the chairman, the CROSEC, as an institution which is empowered by law to conduct local government election, also called um, meeting with all state chairmen and secretaries of political parties in their office through my office, and we also met with them and they discussed at that level, and various political parties also were there. Questions were asked, answers were given, discussions, compromises were comes to play, and that is where we have for now.
All right. So tell me, why did this not work? I know it's not your position, but however, as the SA Interparty affairs, you should have, an idea why the elections did not hold this year.
Well, to be very frank, you should know that even as an special advisor inter parties, you also have your job as a special advisor is to advise.
Yes.
The decision making is solely subject to the discretion of the governor of the state. And to a certain extent, if you also say that as a special advisor, you do not also know, have an idea, have a clear idea of an understanding of what is happening in the state, it means that you're not on top of your job.
Okay.
So I want to say that basically, if I may know very well, don't also forget that the period which we are, and let me start by thanking the governor of Cross River State, which is my boss, for how civil servants and political appointees has been taken care of when it comes to aspect of salary payment. You should also understand that we are at the period of recession. Conduct of local government elections require a lot of money. You understand me? Require a lot of preparation at various level. You need to, there are a lot of things that needs to be. So for you to conduct a local government election, you need like 2 billion naira for you to conduct
2 billion.
2 billion for you to
Wow.
conduct local government election. Don't also forget that the people who are the present local government chairman, vice chairman, councillors, and political appointees, immediately their tenure elapse, they will leave office. And for them to also leave office, you have to also pay them, I think, furniture or severance, if I'm not mistaken. You understand me? Also, if you want to do the statistics, in a list in a local government is 47, if I'm not mistaken, of elected and political appointees of a local government. So for you to also take care of those bills after leaving office, you have to spend like 2 billion naira.
Another 2 billion.
Another 2
That's
billion.
basically, if I'm getting you correctly, it's financial constraint that
Constraint. Then the last thing also, don't also forget that in the conduct of local government election, after election, it has always been a norm, even though it is not constitutional. It has always been a norm that when local government chairman, vice chairman, and councillors have been elected, it is the whole of the state government to also buy them cars. You understand me? If you also want to calculate that very well, now it also costs you 2 billion naira. So the total aspect of it, it is 6 billion naira. You
6 billion.
understand? 6 billion naira.
We'll come to the financial aspect of it later on. The governor has always been saying that, he did not, he did inherit a state that has a worldly potential. Mr. Kwame, the APC cried foul in 2013 when its name was excluded from participating in the elections by the then Patrick Otu-led Krosiek. You went to court. What happened? Nothing was heard from the opposition parties this year, basically.
Thank you very much, my brother. I could have wanted to start with discussing to what my counterpart was saying.
Go on, go on.
So what my counterpart was saying,
Mm.
but you ask a different question. States told us, or Krosiek told us that the party was registered late, and because of that, we could not participate in the election.
That was 2013. So what happened this time around? Was it still the registration? Why did the opposition parties, why did the APC in particular, which you represent, why did they not say much? Little or nothing was heard.
Well, as I told you earlier, I expect to discuss what my counterpart is saying.
Mhm.
I have given you an option
Hmm.
that then the claim was that our name did not reflect
Yes.
on the voters' paper. But if I should want to follow what my counterpart is saying, this country has a constitution.
Hmm.
Section 7 of that constitution, first schedule says that local government must be democratically elected, local government personnel, to make it legislature. Now, if the government takes their time to delay these things, it is they are openly violating the Nigerian constitution. We expect the government to understand that things are done systematically and not for them to cry foul because of funds. If they claim not to have funds, where they get the money to pay their salaries? Funds for local government election or elections are always provided. And I'm very sure that the PDP-led government, they have this money at hand. It is very important for Crossvarians to know that the schedule for this election is so short. We are very, very ready for the election. Even if you don't want to comment.
We'll come to that. There are comments from Crossvarians that party faithful of the APC were occupied lobbying for federal appointment. Hence, the internal wrangling to outshine the order made the party lose focus on the state. They are effectively playing politics of opposition. Now, in a session, this affected the campaign. What is your reaction to this? I mean, apart from you just quoting the conclusion, what steps did the APC really take, or the opposition parties really come out to say, look, this is why was nothing heard? That is the question.
With due respect to you, sir, that information you got was very wrong, or is very wrong.
Okay.
We won the election in national, and a lot of people celebrated.
Hmm.
In politics, so many things happen for you to misinterpret a lot of actions.
Hmm.
People can sit down in their homes or anywhere to say that we lose focus because we want to lobby for positions or for appointments. The party's hierarchy has a way of doing their things systematically. Such situations of elections or such situations of appointments, we handle it very carefully, and it was so systematically done. It is not something I could sit down here and tell people. I'm not at liberty to say that.
All right, okay, no problem there. Mr. Bob, before now you were the party chairman, the state chairman of the Labour Party. And back then, I recall the statement you made where you said that the Labour Party will win the 18 local government areas because the current crop of chairmen were underperforming. But shortly after that, you stepped aside anyway. Nothing was heard again. I mean, what happened? Has your view changed over time?
Now let me say this, and I keep saying this in any of my interview that I'm still a member of Labour Party Cross River State. I
Okay.
am not moved to any other party, and by the grace of God, with the help of God, I don't intend to move because I discovered that various persons moving to political parties are not moving for people's interest, but they're moving for their personal interests. That is why you see somebody, when a party is not favorable to you today, you move to another political party. That is why certain of these persons, I don't believe in their integrity, including the ruling party at the center, the APC, who is celebrating Cross River no move to their party. You understand me? With the same people there, but I won't go into that. So my perspective as to what I said before is unfortunate. I'm not a state chairman. I said this earlier that the local government administration led by the present local government chairman were underperforming. You understand me? And I state my reason. When you now want to tell me, ask me that is my view changed? No, my view hasn't changed. You understand me? It haven't changed. But you also understand that administration or administrative procedures of political parties is led by the who is a state chairman. If I'm a state chairman of a political party tomorrow, believe you me, I will challenge any political party, including PDP, in the state when you are not doing well. You understand me? I will challenge you to tell you this is how it needs to be. So my perspective have not changed. But let me also respond to certain things that my friend and a brother have said. He talks about that it is the constitution provision, the constitution provided that the local government election has to be conducted. Yes, I agree with that. But the challenge, another thing you need to also understand that they have state house of assembly that makes law. They are what they call, you understand me? That is why you have National Assembly, that even certain things that are in the Constitution, National Assembly will do an amendment under Electoral Act to also put it in place. You understand me? So it is also the same Constitution that empower that the State House of Assembly also has a power to amend laws to favor them. That's one. So it is not in out of place. Second thing is, my friend and my colleague said something here. And it's obvious, you know, when you want to go to equity, go with a clean hand. There are states in Nigeria as at today that it is led by APC federal government, that it is, you have caretaker committees. You understand me? The reason why caretakers are formed in places, basically most times it is so, to a certain level. Let me talk about Cross River State, it is financial constraint. You understand me? So what happened to the same state led by APC, that it is caretaker? If you say that it is constitutionally provided that elections should be conducted, that is one. You understand me?
Just shortly
Now,
before
let me also say something. He said that funds for conduct of local government elections is provided for. But I will also want to, I don't know who provided for it apart from the state government. So maybe my colleague, my friend, could also help us to tell
I will
us.
need you to answer that right away, Mr. Mel, before I go.
With due respect to you, sir,
Mm.
when you talk about local government election, he spoke here about what the state is doing. He called the House of Assembly. The interference from the House of Assembly is too great when it concerns local government election. The state governor will sit in a meeting and raise a resolution that the House of Assembly will adopt to pass caretaker committees. That is very, very wrong, sir. When I say funds are provided, state is supposed to provide funds for local government elections. That is very certain. Not that something we have to argue about. You understand me, sir?
Yeah.
So as it is now, let's look at it very well. Let's stop beating about the bush. We need to understand that this election is supposed to be prepared a long time ago. Nothing to show for it. You call for meetings, there's May meetings. You call for people, there's May calling for people. We need to see structures on ground to show that local government election is supposed to take place anytime from now.
Yeah, now let's look at this. The State Independent Electoral Commission was not set up until somewhere around February, March this year. Now, from then on, there was no court case, no press release, basically no voice asking why elections did not hold this year. I'm at loss. Is this not safe? Is it not safe to say that political parties in the state don't have the interest of cross-reference at the center of their political ideology? Yes.
Now, if you say so, we held a seminar sometime in Channel View. I was there in that seminar. I was present. I stood up to ask the chairman of CrossSec whether he's ready for the election. If he's ready, let him tell us the modalities. He openly said, yes, they're very ready for the election. That was sometime in August.
Okay.
June, July, August. Now, if you ask that question again, we have been expecting him to advise us of what he has done. But nothing has been done, as you have just said. In essence, we have been pushing in the way we can. Maybe you want us to carry placards, then you will soon see that.
Okay, all right. Over to you, Mr. Ivo. You have mentioned the cause for the delay as a financial constraint. By my understanding, within the week, just this weekend, you had a sort of meeting with political parties across the states, the chairmen and secretary, and you attended that meeting. The chairman said, that's the State Independent Electoral Commission. The chairman said that elections will hold in 2017. It mean, what preparations have been put in place to ensure that? I still recall he mentioned sometimes earlier that there was no budgetary provision for the election in 2016. And now, has there been budgetary provision for 2017? What other measures have been put in place to ensure that elections will hold?
Okay, let me respond this way. You
Mm,
know, my friend says that there was no proper structure
mm,
for local government election. I would say wrong, because when you say there was no proper, that was the more reason why cross-sec was cross-sec this thing executive or whatever it is called that was put in place to tell you that the government itself was ready for local government election. That is one. Now,
mm,
another thing I want to say is that he also says something that that they held a meeting and the CROSEC chairman now responded that they were ready for election. Let me say this: there is difference between being ready and the availability of funds.
mm,
You should also understand that CROSEC is an institution on its own. You understand me? Established by law for conduct of local government election. And in preparation for every local government, CROSSEC will always have a budgetary provision for it.
mm.
Now, budgetary provision does not automatically mean availability of funds.
Okay.
So you can budget for something. You understand me? Execution of project is determined by what you have at hand. That is why you have budget. Now, CROSSEC say that they make provision for local government election this year. They were called for a defense, and which that was done.
Mm,
And why did the election not held? And the government needs to sit down and check. We will use the money. Don't forget also, if you are to use the money that you have in the states today to conduct local government election, the workers in the state will also carry placards that you have not paid them salary.
okay.
You understand me? So government is now seeing that yes, there was provision, but there is no fund. For you to give us space, for us to prepare ourselves very well, you understand me? Give us a period of between 6 to 7 1 year so that we can gather the fund. You understand me? That is what the government has done.
Mm,
You get my point? So, does it mean that there is no money? What is available may not be enough to take care of the salary of civil servant and political appointees. At
mm.
the same time, conduct local government election at this period of recession.
I see.
You understand me?
Let me ask you, when are we just had 217. 217 is 365 days long. When exactly in 217 should
Now,
be
let me
expected?
tell you, I am the special advisor in Tapati Affair.
Okay,
I am not CROSSEC chairman.
okay.
I am not the governor of Cross River State.
All right, no problem.
The
I see
conduct
Mr.
of the
Mens is
local
itching
government,
to say
excuse
something.
me, the conduct of local government election in 2017, it is subject to the decision between CROSSEC and the government of Cross River State.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mens.
Ladies and gentlemen, my counterpart says that CrossSec was inaugurated sometime in February. I wonder how a body can be inaugurated without being funded.
Mm,
Such a thing is out of place. If CrossSec was inaugurated, then funds must follow. Now, you come around to tell us, give us unnecessary excuses why local government election is not held. And I say no, that you are wrong. The state has funds. The state is it has autonomy. Exactly how the local government is supposed to be autonomized. But now you come out to tell us that the state has no fund to operate the local government election. I disagree in total.
mm,
The state has enough funds to organize a local government election prior to the end of the tenure of that local government council, which is going to end in the 30th or 31st of this month. I expect the state by now to put up a lot of things, structures to ensure that this election, we are ready for that election. Before that time, election could have commenced since October.
In your opinion, now, Mr. Metz, what exactly should they, he has been crying no funds, no funds, no funds, and you have been saying there's money, there's money, there's money.
You tell us how he knows there is money.
In your opinion, what do you think the state should do now, looking forward? And before you answer that, I'll ask a quick question to Mr. Ipo. December 15th, the tenure of the current crop of chairman ends. What happens after December 16th? Does the state has any plan?
Well, I want to say this. It's just that my friend and my brother was not in the last meeting that was held in Crossek office.
Okay.
The representative by the deputy vice chairman central, in the person of Honorable Obomobla, was there. No, sorry, Cletus Obun was there, and the organizing secretary of the party. Now, the constitution has already provided a stipulated time for conduct of an election before the expiration of the current tenure of local government. So when that tenure expires, what is the provision? Is that if the election is not conducted, there is a provision that transition committee should be set in place. So in that meeting, you understand me, we now said, which we all agreed, that since all political party, major political party would have been involved in the contest of an election, don't also forget that the contest of an election does not determine winning. So you can contest an election doesn't mean you will win.
Yeah.
But because the governor has been very friendly with all credible alternative platform called opposition party, he now said, since the election has not been conducted, we are talking, and I've suggested that political parties will be involved at various levels, which we are still on it. So come December 15, by the grace of God, when the tenure of this present administration of local government administration will expire, we believe, which is still subject to the discretion of the governor, that the transition committee will be involved. My position as a special advisor inter-party affairs, who is not a member of a ruling party, is to also suggest, which I am doing, that sir, there is need that other political parties should be involved, which we know, let me say this, which we know APC may not likely wants to be involved. You ask me a reason, let me tell you the reason. Allow me, let me tell you the reason I know. Hello, let me tell you a reason why I say that APC may not likely be involved if the governor now decided that there should be all-inclusive when it has to do with the composition of local government transition committee. Don't forget, when this governor came on board, I was a state chairman who opposes PDP to the last level until the election. Don't forget also that when there is a period of an election, every political party display ideology and what they have on ground for a citizen. But after election, political party ceases to be in operation in a very public domain. The governance takes charge. That is why we have Cross River State United we build after election. We came on board. Some of us came on board, which the governor opened door that all political parties will be carried along. APC now say they cannot be part of it. That is why I'm saying that we know if the governor has opened the floor, open the door, that the composition of this transition committee should be made across to other political parties. We know, I know, that APC might not likely be part of it.
Okay, you have said a lot of things there, Mr. Work, and
Yes,
I know you are
sir.
itching to.
With due respect to you, it's not constitutional.
Okay.
What he has just said. APC works with the norms of the constitution.
Okay.
He is very correct. It doesn't conform with our constitution. Neither does it conform with the Nigerian constitution. Please, can you please repeat your first question? There was a question I asked.
Yes. I said, in your opinion, how should the state go about the organization of the local government election?
The state is supposed to react proactively. The state is supposed to at least bring up the structures immediately. The state is supposed to understand the election is supposed to take place. When you talk about a transition is something for a limited time.
Okay.
And that limited time, we don't have it now.
Okay.
The state are the ones who has been delaying this election since February of this year that constituted the cross-check. They were supposed to, as at that period, fund cross-check, make the structures well, put everything in place. Election was supposed to take place 3 months before the expiration of the last people. But the interference from the state will not let this thing happen. The state is so silent about this thing that the state is trying to cut corners and leave everybody. If you are telling us to give you 6 months to conduct the election, a local government election, that means if we come to general election, we'll give you 3 years. That's very unfair.
So, in your opinion, the transition coming in, how long should the transition be in
With
place?
due respect to you, such a thing is not supposed to be there in the first place.
Okay.
Then talk about asking me for duration of the time.
Okay.
Transition or no transition is not supposed to come in here at all. We had enough time, February to now. That's about nothing less than 9 months.
You know the problem I have. That is why I find it difficult to join APC, and by the grace of God, I will not. You know the problem I have, because they are not being very factual and they are not very being truthful. I asked a question, and this is a state publicity secretary of a party like APC. Is there any state led by APC as at today that there is a caretaker or transition committee? Please, I'm asking.
With due respect to you, sir, my counterpart is not supposed to hold brief for APC.
Yes.
You cannot make 2 wrongs right. What is obtainable elsewhere is not our business. We are talking about what is obtainable in Cross State.
Exactly, that's the point that's the focus of the dialogue with Agba Jalingo. That's the vision, that's the mission. We'll make sure that the Cross River State conversation bears fruit. And like what we say here, we'll make sure we leave no stone unturned and no turn on stone. Shortly, unfortunately, today, listeners out there won't be able to take calls due to scheduled maintenance in the studio. But I'll move over to Facebook on our page, the dialogue with Agba Jalingo, where we have the comments. But before I read that comment, I say you keep the conversation going on our social media platforms. On Facebook, like our page, the dialogue with Agba Jalingo. We're on YouTube, the dialogue with Agba Jalingo TV. Tweet us at the dialogue CRS, and on WhatsApp, the dialogue with AJ. Sorry, on Instagram, the dialogue with AJ. Make sure you include hashtag TDWAJ, hashtag the dialogue with AJ in your comments, contributions, and questions, which will be read and answered here live on the program. Moving on to Facebook, our Facebook page, we have a comment from Mr. Anthony Duke. I don't know if he's a Mr. or Prof, but Anthony Duke. He says, Austin's hand is swelled in oil, so he cannot act himself as the Austin I know. He has to speak in favor of the government. Don't say I did not say so. I mean,
well, let me respond by saying that I know the person talking is my personal friend.
He sounds like someone.
Yes, I know the person. The same thing. Let me also put to him too. When you are now bringing, like I keep saying, when you want to go to Equity, come with a clean. And that was a councillor in Ward 4, in Ward 4 or Ward 5, that was elected under ACN, who decamped after ACN giving him a ticket to win an election in Calabasa, and decamped to PDP for certain reason that we didn't know. And you are now coming to tell a man who will always say the truth. I have come on media, like as I'm seated here today, I am the first person that will always say that PDP structures to a certain level are not doing well. If I am to be a leader of a political party tomorrow, I will take on PDP anytime, any day. You understand me? And you're telling me I am being very factual about issues that I can be challenged anyway when it has to do with conduct of local government election.
But I must confess, there's a certain point he had me there. I listened to you speak over time. You have mentioned we, you have mentioned I, and you've mentioned us. So sometimes I get a little confused. But I do understand you are in government. So now trying to differentiate yourself, pull yourself out of government at the same time speak government.
Let me tell you something. I said something.
Yes.
What I said earlier is that when it has to do with the context of an election, every political party has an ideology and a dream.
Okay.
Why you go into an election. So for the fact you did not win an election doesn't mean that your dream and your father. Now, Governor, Senator, Professor Ben Ayade now discover that Labour Party has an ideology, has a dream. He now call you on board. He said, do not be a member of my party. I'm not giving you, this is the first time someone will give you an appointment. He does not want you to decamp like other political parties.
Do you agree to that?
With due respect to you, sir, I've just told the man that he said us, we, and all those things. The person that pays the piper dictates it. He cannot speak any other thing than talk about the governor and the PDP-led government. These things are simple. He has his double speak, and this double speak is not helping the state. We are factual. He said we are not. We say we are factual. We are the ones who come here to change the state, and we are very ready to do it, starting from the local government.
Yeah, he did mention earlier that the APC will not accept to join in a transition sort of administration.
And I said so too. I said first and foremost, no constitution is not acceptable. It's unacceptable.
So what should be done in this
I answered
instance?
it earlier. I said earlier.
What should be done when there is no conduct of election?
I'm on the floor, please.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm the one on the floor. I said the state must have to react proactively and set the ball rolling by ensuring that the structures of all this election is the operations for election supposed to take place. Now, I have told you, if you say transition period is it can last for a lifetime, and we say we don't want that. What we want is state to start acting as a state and make the local government election operative.
Please, let me react to that. Transition period does not last for a long time. He has a terminatal time. It could be 6 months, it could be 1 year, and it can also be renewed. You understand me? It can also be renewed. So when you now say that the structures, the simple question is the timing for the conduct of local government election that already expired by constitution. What is the way forward?
And I just answered that severally. I said, state, start moving, make the structures there.
When you say start moving, sir, do you actually mean the election should be conducted, before December 15th?
With all respect to you, I told you the state wasted time to conduct this election.
Yes.
That was a deliberate ploy to ensure that they do what they want. And when you do that, you are not giving the grassroots any room to progress. You are not giving the state chairman to have the resources controlled by themselves. You are not giving anybody any chance to understand that they belong to anything political in the state. I'm telling you today that if the state wants you to go on, let them show us something to make us understand that yes, election will be conducted soon and very soon.
Okay. Now, Mr. Ivo.
Let me say this. The composition of CROSEC as an institution has already been done. The provisions of budgetary provision has already been made, which they have done that and defend their budget for 2017. That is still part of structures, preparation for conduct of election. Calling of state political parties chairman and secretary for a meeting informing the chairman that election will be conducted next year is still provision. It is still a structure that has already been. Now, let me also bring to your notice. I have already been informed officially by CROSEC. They will be going for what is it called? I think sensitization process in different local government, different senatorial districts, with the stakeholders, chairmen of parties, and informing them why conduct of election. Those are still procedures. You understand me? Procedures are not static.
But you just said there is basically no money. I mean, is there really need for all that? Or is that part of the 2 billion you mentioned?
No. Let me tell you, one of the things you need to understand is when there is no money for conduct of election does not mean that there is no money for certain provisions to be put in place to notify people. It will be obvious. It will be obvious for you to say there will be no local government election without informing the stakeholders.
Okay, Mr. Mens, you are itching to say something.
With due respect to you, sir, my friend and the state, they are trying to delay a lot of things to ensure that it comes to their advantage. And such things are very dangerous for our lovely state.
Okay.
We need to act and act fast. I said it a lot of times. If the state was serious about the local government election, they will not wait till the dying minute to say, okay, we are trying to sanitize and go to local government by local government. Everybody understands what is on the ground. Everybody. All the parties understand it. You cannot come down to tell us that you want to go and start sensitizing people when you were supposed to do something earlier.
Okay.
Those things could have been done between February and March, not in the dying minute of the time. We said today, my brother, we are ready for election. And we want it done as soon as possible.
My brother, let me say this also. You know, I like being very factual. Payment of salary in Cross River State has already been known and it has been credited to government of Cross River State. Now, you don't also need to understand this. Why certain states are crying that they do not have money to pay salaries in Cross River State. Cross River State government is paying salary promptly. You understand? I said it earlier. Let's be very considerate. See,
If there is anybody that would have loved conduct of local government election, it is me. Because it will involve my department very well. It will involve political parties. He will make my office busy. I am one of the person that's supposed to look for local government election.
Okay,
But when local government election is conducted at the detriment of people's lives, when salary is not, because there is no how they will pull out the money and do conduct local government election when there is no enough provision and enough details to be done that salary will be able to be paid. So our colleague from APC want civil servant. I thank God the civil servants are hearing this.
Okay, let me ask you this,
Ladies and
Mr. Metz.
gentlemen.
You have been insisting that elections. There's this question: is this that we have been hearing about postponement of election all across the country, and the easy statement is that it's because one party is scared that it's going to lose the election. Like in 2015, the postponement from February to March, it was alluded that it was they were trying to buy time for the PDP to win election, and so also as the APC is in power now, they are saying each time the APC postpone election, it's because they want APC to have more time. Are you afraid, sir, Minister Mens, that if this election is pushed to 2017 in 6 months' time, it will affect the APC chances?
With due respect to you, sir, as much as I appreciate your reference, this is Cross River State, not the federal.
Okay.
You understand me, sir? APC is not afraid of election, and they will never be afraid of election. APC says we are very ready for the election, and APC says that the PDP-led government have been delaying the election for their own benefit.
And when you say by their own benefits,
How?
For their own benefit.
How?
Now they are the ones who are delaying. They are the ones shifting it for their own benefit. That's what I'm saying. As it is, we say we are ready for election, and we stand by that. There is no point playing about the bush or talking in double ways. Bring up election operations. We are very ready to follow it step by step.
Okay, let me so set this. When my friend is talking about APC is is not this is Cross River State, and forgetting that if there is physical structures. Hello, there is physical structures. There is physical structures at different level in Cross River State of APC. That shows them they are capable of winning an elections. And when you also make reference that Cross River State is not like federal, he has forgotten that the election was shifted in Ondo, in Edo State for a period of time, which was still led by APC. You understand me? See, it's just that like I keep saying, context of an election is not determining, is not a fact that you win an election. You understand me? And let me also tell you, I am not speaking for PDP. If I have my way, I will want to chase PDP away in local government election. I will want Labour Party to file most credible, acceptable, and sellable, marketable candidate in our party to take them away. The reason is because APC and PDP, they do not always make provision for free, fair selection process of their candidate. So there is always a room when APC make mistake and PDP make mistake, they will come to Labour. I should be the one that we even need local government election more as a Labour Party person to chase PDP and APC away.
Before you answer that, let me ask you: does the APC have faith in the Ayades administration that it will contest, it will organize these elections properly? That's if eventually it comes.
If I must answer a question, let me put it like this. Is Ayade ready for the local government election? If he's ready for that, then our faith is very strong. But as I've told you earlier, my counterpart is trying to say so many sentimental things, and we don't believe in sentiment. APC is a party of change. We come out with everything credible. We come out with everything that shows that yes, we are politically blessed. Not what I'm hearing or what I'm seeing from my counterpart. APC is the one that will conduct a free and fair election any day, any time in this country. And we did that in our presidential election. We won gallantly. And we are going to win the local government election gallantly.
That's a very good one. But let me say this too. As I'm here today, I want Cross Riverian to listen to me and listen to me very well. I will not be here to challenge APC, and I will not be here to challenge. But one of the things I want to say is that by virtue of my office, I am a member of all political parties. That means if an APC hold an event today, invite me, I will come. PDP holds an event by virtue of my office. That is why I'm not in the ruling party. You get my point? So when you talk about your being ready for an election, it is certain everybody will claim to be ready. Everybody will claim to be ready. Ready for personal reasons. Ready also, I like being very factual. You understand me? Ready for knowing that if there is conduct of an election, the party structure, executive of the party will be serviced monetarily. Certain things will happen and some people will be happy. It is not, that does not translate to the welfare of common people in Cross River State. It translates to the only interest of the people who are the leaders of political parties, which believe that by the conduct of an election, they can make certain level of ends from state on other people. You understand me?
Very well. Mr. Austin, there has been this allegation, apart from Tony Duke's statement on Facebook,
Okay.
that you have been following the money. This is a very personal.
Okay.
You have been following the money when it comes to politics. What's your reaction to this?
Now let me say this. Tony knows me very well. I've been working in the bank. I wasn't doing bar. I've been a banker. I wasn't sacked in the bank. I work in UBA. You understand me? And I left the banking industry and joined politics. I was doing a personal business. If you know if you calculate, you see Oscaping Nigeria Limited. It's a company of mine that does productions of paints in Abuja.
Okay.
I married to a wonderful wife that even without me doing a business, my wife is a medical doctor, he can survive me. You understand me? I do not get into politics because of money. Even though money is the basics of everything. But let me tell you, while I was in the bank, I discovered that I came from a very poor home. And for me to arise to where I am, there are people that need to rise to where I am. You understand me? I discovered that there were a lot of persons coming to me for an assistant. Let me tell you, my brother, I'm talking on a public this thing. Everybody's hearing me. If I was to go out for politics for money, Prince Basedere and everybody that ran an election under Labour Party wouldn't have ran, because I had opportunity to make so much money. I rejected all money, and I should be quoted. Nobody in Cross River State that ran an election in Labour Party will come out and tell you that they offered me anybody I collected.
All right. Okay, we are winding down your parting shot, Mr. Mensa Ikweme. What do you think should be put in place to ensure that what happened this year will not repeat itself again?
With due respect to you, sir, Crochet must have to be called to a point.
Okay.
The government of the day must have to understand that delay is like denying justice.
Okay.
I have seen it here again, that they should be proactive about even this one, not the one that will come next. We are talking about the present one.
All right.
They are supposed to at least understand that we are ready for what we want to do. And they should be. I want a Cross River that things are done normally. Things are done systematically. Things are done with methods. And things are done on time. Not a state that things will be done because people know how to say so many things, so many sentimental things. We need the state government to react now and ensure that this election takes place before 31st of December.
All right, same question to you, Mr. Austin. He said before the 31st of December. Just 60 seconds, please.
What did you ask? I didn't hear you.
Ask him what should be put in place to ensure that such a scenario that occurred this year.
Now, let me say this, and I want to be very factual. Let me use this opportunity to call the leadership of APC at the state, the leadership of the APC at the national, that there needs to be change, must really be very impactful.
Okay.
There needs to be several, because if there have been financial circulations and things have been the way it's supposed to be, there is no how Cross River State government will not conduct local government election, because there must have been flow of funds at all levels. So I want to say that for the conduct of the election next time, and I believe as the state government, as the APC-led federal government is going, which they are doing very well. Believe in me, I like what the president is doing in terms of corruption. This thing, I love it. The president is doing wonderfully well. But please, it should make money to be in the circulation so that we will not keep crying of what is happening. And I want to thank my friend, APC friend. You guys are doing well. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
The state has money. Recently they splashed over some $75,000 on naked women.
All right, thank you. We've come to the end of this episode, and we thank our guest, the special advisor to Governor Ben Ayadi of Cross River on the interparty affairs. You can see they're shaking. And we thank you for appearing on the show. I want to thank the public secretary of the All Progressive Congress, Cross River State, Mr. Mens Kipeme. We thank our content providers, Giant Concepts, media partners, CrossRiverWatch.com, Hit959, FM Calabar, and CalabarBlog.com. Thanks to our executive producers Charles Kalu and McDonald Hercules Ayangbe. Our production assistant Archibald Jeremiah Ifanye Victor. Well, unfortunately, there are no camera operators in the room today, but kudos goes to Olga Monda and Ottoman Clement, who are always here. Marketing manager Emmanuel Etim and our web partner Mr. Roland Enyaforte Basi. Our hospitality partners, Vanel Kitchen and Bar. Make sure you visit their kitchen for delicious meals. Go to their bar for chill drinks. Unwind. It's karaoke night every day from 6 to 9 p.m. Just be there and sing your sorrows away with ballads that speak to your soul. Special appreciation goes to our aviation partners, LPs, also our listeners out there, and those who commented on our social media platform. We thank you. The conversation continues on our social media platforms, on our Facebook page. You like it, the dialogue with Agba Jalingo. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, the dialogue with Agba Jalingo TV. Tweet to us, the dialogue CRS. Find us on Instagram, the dialogue with AJ. The audio clip will be uploaded shortly on our Facebook page. Of course, we'll make sure we leave no stone unturned and no turn on stone to ensure the Cross River conversation continues bearing positive fruit, and that no matter the substance the evil one takes, it can never become the most high. Don't forget to call 0705 1536836 for adverts and sponsorship. Till next Sunday by 6 p.m., I've been Jonathan Uba. Adios.